So the task to create custom report, that is create custom report. And in this, we will put the name. Okay, I'll just try to create an advanced one because that would be relevant for everybody. And this is not going to be a web service report. Okay, I'm just using a normal report. Let's say I'm going to use a data source like all active and terminated worker, because this is the most used data source you will have in your list. And I'll go ahead and click on OK. Okay, so how many of you know that when you create a report, you can use multiple business objects? I'm sure everyone would know it, right? Because you have gone through the reporting sessions.
Yes.
Okay, so now let's add field. Let's say first name. And then let's add last name as well. And what we can do, let's add gender. And I'm going to basically go into different business objects. So I've picked 3 values from worker. And let's say I'm going to pick 1 value from job profile. Okay, let's look at it. So in the job profile, let's say we will use compensation grade. Okay. Do you know the use of column heading override? I hope everyone does, right? What is this column used for?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, great. Now, what we will do, let's add one more business object as dependents. And maybe we will pick the gender of dependents. Okay, so how many male dependents are there, how many female dependents are there, that we will see. And then let's say we are putting a heading override like gender of dependents. And let's click on, let's add a filter, because this tenant will have unwanted data. And let's say that I'm putting a filter on gender. And this, okay, so where can we put a filter? Can we put a filter on a worker, or can we put a filter on anywhere?
Only on workers, the primary business object.
Okay, and what is the reason behind it?
That is, I'm not sure.
It's actually by design that we can only add filters on the field of a primary business object. So in this, my primary business object is worker. So I can never add a filter on the field of job profile or dependents. Okay, so let's see. I'll say gender should not be empty. I'll just mention in that way that I don't want any employee who has not put their gender, because that is a unwanted value. And then when we actually run the report, when you actually build a report, you get 3 options, right? Run, test, and done. So I'm sure you know what is the meaning of run, test, and done. So I'm going ahead and running this report now. Okay. Now you see, I have got first name, last name, gender, compensation grade is blank, and then I've got gender of dependents as well. So all these values are coming. Correct? So you see, it's not that gender is always blank here. Gender is also there. But let's take a scenario that I want those employees whose compensation grade is also not blank. I don't want those employees that whose compensation grade is coming as blank. Then in that case, what will you do? Guys, tell me.
We'll put a filter on compensation grade,
But
but this will,
this
yes,
field is
but
from job profile. Then
yes,
what?
then we'll have to take it, we'll have to move it to worker using LRV, lookup related value.
Okay. If I add a subfilter, then what will happen? What is the
Yes, we
concept of
can.
subfilter?
Yeah, we can add. We can add.
We can add.
Yes.
Okay. Let's see. So if I'm adding a subfilter, which means I'm adding a business object first, right? So what is my business object here?
Job profile.
Job profile. Okay, and then my field name. Great. And what is the condition that I want to hear?
Is not blank.
Is not blank. Okay. Okay, is not empty. And I'll go ahead and click on OK. Okay, let's run the report and let's see what happens. This is still blank. First name, last name, gender, compensation grade, gender or dependence. It is still blank. Why is that?
Because we have put a filter on worker and it is escaping the subfilter value.
I mean, I'm sorry, but I did not understand. Did anyone else understand what you're trying to say?
I'm saying that we have put a filter on worker.
Oh, we'll always put a filter on worker only, right? You cannot put a
Yes.
filter on any other business object if worker is your primary business object. What you're saying is correct. I'm not denying that, but yeah, are you able to help everybody understand? That is the question. So that is what I wanted to know. Is everyone clear what exactly is going on? Is there any confusion? Let me know, guys. Otherwise, I will feel that you know it, so I'll not explain it.
Yes, Ashish, we are getting what we are doing on the background, but what Lalita said is correct. But
Yes, Lalita is saying
that's
correct. I don't deny
that's
that.
the reason. Yeah, that's the reason you're moving the fields ahead so that it will filter out the worker data instead of dependence data.
No, I'm not doing anything as such. I'm just arranging it in a proper way. Earlier worker data was not coming properly, in the sense it was coming at the last, and I'm just trying to put it at the front. Okay, I'll just run the report. It will still not make a difference. Basically, my compensation grade is still coming as blank. See, now I've got first name, last name, gender, but the compensation grade is still blank. And we know that compensation grade has values. It is not that it will not have. At least for few employees, there will be values, correct? Not every employee, but few employees, there will be. Now the situation is, I have a field where I want to get the values, but it is coming as blank.
So maybe because of the conflicting logic of two different business objects.
Yes, there is, but the situation is like that. You need to get the data from compensation grade. I'm sorry, from job profile only. That is your requirement. So let me show you.
What if we remove the filter from gender? Will it take it?
I don't know. Let's do that.
Okay.
Okay. Let's do it. So this session is completely, giving you a concept which you would need in your day-to-day activity, and that's the reason I am not answering any questions without showing anything. Okay, so don't take in that way that I'm trying to test you. No, nothing like that. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, just to make sure that your concepts are clear. Now I've removed the filter. you see, I've got more data now, 1065.
Mhm.
And there are employees whose gender would also be blank. The first name would also be blank. A lot of things, unwanted data would be there, right? So still my compensation grade is not working. The filter which I have put, I'm sorry, not the filter, but the sub filter which I have put on compensation grade, still that is not working. So
Mhm.
guys, this concept you cannot forget. The priority is always your filter and the fields of the primary business object. Okay, this is a rule, this is a thumb rule. Okay, you cannot forget this, that the priority will always be given to a field which is of primary business object. So here my field of primary business object is first name, last name, and gender, and accordingly the value of related business objects will be displayed. Even if it is blank, it will still display it blank. So if I'll check for Logan, let's see. Let me open a duplicate tab and let's try to get into Logan McNeil and see the compensation grade. I'm sure it is blank, but let's verify it. Okay, let's go into Logan McNeil and see the compensation grade. So how we can see that? I hope you all know it. Guys?
We go to compensation or from job. I think we can see.
Okay. I mean, both the places are correct. You can go from compensation also, and you can go from the job profile also. Both the things are correct. See, grade is there, but compensation grade is not there. Compensation package is there, but compensation grade is missing. Are you getting the point? So
Yes.
they have created a field which is grade, and this is a custom field. This is not a standard field of Workday. That's the reason that value is not coming there. Okay, I hope you understood it. Now understand the sorry. Yeah, someone is saying something.
No, I said just got it. Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. So now we need those employees whose standard compensation grade is not empty. Okay. Now you found out that there is no relation between a filter and a sub filter. It cannot have a relationship, right? It cannot have any and or with them. Correct? Did you get it? So filter runs separately and sub filter runs separately. If there is a conflict, as someone said, right, that because of the conflict between a primary business object and related business object, we are not able to get the details. Now there comes a requirement. Let me show the requirement. Let's say it says display the first name, last name, gender, compensation grade, okay, job profile, where job profile's compensation grade is not empty. I hope you are able to understand the condition. It says display first name, last name, gender. These three are from worker. Compensation grade, that is coming from job profile. Job profile itself is required on this particular report. And then it says that job profile's compensation grade should not be empty, which means they want that this particular field should not be empty. Now we build a report. We built a report where exactly I'm getting first name, last name, gender, compensation grade. And this compensation grade is coming from job profile business. Now the client is saying that I don't want this particular field to be empty. I only want to have this condition. What is my condition? That this particular field, which belongs to job profile, it should not be empty. And based on that, I want to filter the data. Correct? Did you understand the requirement?
Yes.
Okay. And it also wants a field called job profile. Now understand, this kind of situation will happen, and then you will be asked that, okay, if I have to do certain things, how am I going to go ahead and bring those data on my report? Okay. So first of all, if I can bring the values of compensation grade onto a field of a primary business object, if I'm able to bring the values of compensation grade onto a field of a primary business object, can I add a filter there? Yes,
First,
no.
we will have to filter the
Filter,
content,
okay.
and then we can bring it to worker business object.
Okay, that is what I understood. But my question is, if I'm able to bring the value of compensation grade onto a field which is on worker, can I add a filter then? Yes or no?
Yes.
So you're
yes.
saying like
Yeah.
we'll bring compensation grade through LRV and then we are able to add that filter? That's the question?
You can bring it through LRB. You can do that. But what is my condition? My condition says that I also need the job profile, right? Okay.
So
Yes.
job profile we can use from worker, right? We will be able to see.
So in this scenario, you know, I can use a combination of calculated fields and I don't need to add any other business object, and I can bring those values. Okay. So that let's see that, this is a very interesting example which I have picked, because this is a recent requirement which actually came from a client. Okay. And first, we have to understand that on which condition my compensation grade should not be empty. Basically, you can understand that if an employee is working in an organization, right, they can have multiple compensation grades in their history. For example, if someone is working for 5 years in an organization, every year there is a change, right, in their package or in the salary, because you get appraisals, right? So there could be a possibility that their compensation grade might have changed. Is it also not possible?
Yes.
It is possible, right? And the data is there in the history. It is not that it will be deleted. Everyone will be able to see their what was the first compensation grade when they joined, and then when they moved up the ladder, what was the next compensation grade that was there. Now a person can have multiple compensation grade, and if you try to pick it in a normal report, it will give you the latest one. But let's say if I'm extracting the compensation grade and bringing on to any other business object, it will bring all the values. It will not only bring the last value, but it will bring all the values. Right? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. So here we have to understand that if I'm using LRV, it is going to give me all the values, not just one.
Okay.
Are you getting the point?
Yes. So we'll have to
Yes.
extract single instance from this multi.
Yeah. So yeah, just try to understand. LRV is useful, but it is not going to give me one value. It is going to give me all the values. So if I am getting all the values, which is the latest compensation grade, how will I know? I will not be able to know it, right?
Right.
Yes.
So first of all, I have to extract all the non-empty values of compensation grade. That is my first requirement. Now, how I can go ahead and get all the non-empty values? So we have heard about a calculated field which is called as Boolean field, or you can consider that as a true-false function, right?
Right.
So true-false, what it will do, as per your condition, it will extract the value from that particular field, but it will not display it. It will tell you whether it is true or whether it is false. Okay. I have compensation grade value. Yes, it is not blank. So it means it is stored in that particular function, right? Which means I have got the not blank value with me. What is that value? I don't know, but I know that, okay, it is not blank. Okay. So first I have to get that value. So guys, the task to create for people, those who have not created a calculated field, let's understand this. The task to create a calculated field is create calculated field. It's very simple. Now we can put a name. Let's say CB1 underscore CF underscore TF. TF is true false. And because I have kept it such a name that I'm able to remember that what kind of function I'm going to use. Now, from where I have to extract that data? This field is compensation grade. Now here it says, tell me the business object where exactly you want to extract the data. So what will the business object be here? Which business object do you think we will require here?
Job profile.
Job profile. Excellent. Okay. Now you've seen that there are multiple functions, right? So I told you that I'll give you the complete documentation of this, but let's use this true false condition first and understand this. Because there are 30-40 calculated fields. We cannot go all to all, but I will choose which is the most complex ones and which is basically used almost every day. And I'll give you all the documents which will help you as a reference. Whenever you want to go through it, you can. Now, in the calculation, what is my requirement? What is the field that I am looking for? Comp grade, right? Yes, no?
Yes.
And what is my condition?
Is not blank.
So I don't want any blank value. It should not be empty. Okay. So is not empty is what I'm going to use. Compensation grade is not empty. So once I create it, this field will contain all the non-empty values, correct?
Yes.
So I have now got a calculated field. But if I use it right now, it will not give me any value. It will either tell me yes or no, right? It will not give me any value. Okay. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and create another calculated field. So understand the requirement. Compensation grade for those employees which is not blank, I need to display the data. So what I have done, I have extracted the non-empty values. That is through a condition called true false. But that gives me only Boolean value, either 0 or 1 or true or false or yes or no. Now, based on this condition, I also want to extract two values, right? I need to know the job profile and I also have to display my compensation grade, which is not empty. Now, there is a relationship between a compensation grade and job profile. When you go through the core HCM part, I'm not sure if you're aware about or not, but when you create a job profile, a compensation grade would be present there. Are you aware about it? Yes. No?
We haven't seen it, but yes.
Okay. If you have not seen it, let me show it. All right, let me show it here itself. I don't remember any job profile that I have created, but yeah, let's see. Okay, this is employee. Okay, no, I don't need an employee. Just give me a few minutes. Okay, let me search it, because that relationship, understanding of relationship is very important. Then only, yeah, you see, I got this account executive, right? This is my job profile. So when I go into this job profile, I will see few things like overview, characteristics, and compensation. And when you can create any job profile, it is very, very important that you have to link the compensation grade or grade profile, because without compensation grade, a recruiter would not be able to know how much is the budget for that job profile. Because see, when they are trying to look for resources, what they need the job description, which you have it here, right? Which you have it in the overview, that this is the job description. I need all this information. These are the locations from where this all requirement has come. And then I also need the budget. So for budget, you need to define the compensation grade. And if you have to define the compensation grade, which means you will have to show the package, not the exact package, but this is the base pay. So this is my base pay and this is the segment which I have. So I will have to find out somebody between 4 lakhs to 12 lakhs. That is my range of salary. Now, without compensation grade, a job profile is useless. So whenever there will be a job profile, it means there will be compensation grade for sure. Okay. Now, what is my requirement? See, because this type of relationship you need to know to understand and build the calculated fields. So what does it say? First name, last name, gender. This is the most easy thing. You can get it from worker. And then you have compensation grade and then the job profile. Let's say if I'm able to extract the job profile, and based on that, the compensation grade values will not be part of this report. Is that a possibility? Can you think on that relationship? So let's say I'm displaying the job profile. Okay. And I put a filter on job profile. How I will do that, I'll show it to you. And based on that, the compensation grade, will that not be automatically shown on my report? Because based on this filter, if I'm able to add a filter, which means this field is present on my primary business object, correct? Yes, no?
Which one? Job profile.
Okay. I'm not saying that I'm using the field of worker. Okay. I'm saying I am creating a calculated field and I'm extracting the job profile. Okay. And that calculated field is on worker.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Understand. This is a very important concept. If I'm able to extract the job profiles and on that job profile, I will put that value on worker business object. Now, what is worker here? In my report, which I was looking, what is the worker here? Guys.
Employee is
Primary.
It is a primary business object, right? So when you create a report, okay, let me edit it. Don't get confused, okay? This is very important for everybody. All of you have to remember this concept. The importance of primary and related business object is very important and you cannot forget it, okay? So what is this? My primary business object is worker. Now, as per the rule, where can I apply a filter?
only on primary business object.
Only on the fields of a primary business object, not on the primary business object. Only on the fields of primary business object. So if I have to apply a filter, I have 3 fields from worker, right? First name, last name, gender. And if I have to apply a filter, I can use these fields or any field which is there in worker. Correct?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
Now, my requirement says that a job profile has to be a part of this report. Okay. And this job profile is created, which means a compensation grade would be there also, because without a compensation grade, job profile is useless. So nobody would create anything, or it will not be used where your compensation grade is empty. Correct? Now, I am saying you that I am creating a calculated field and I'm extracting the job profile. Okay. And that calculated field is on worker business object. See, whenever you have to think on the logic, you have to understand what I have to do. Let it be any business object, I don't care. My requirement is I need to get the employees whose compensation grade is not blank, and I have to display first name, last name, gender, and job profile, and of course the compensation grade. right? These are the 5 fields you need in your report, right?
Correct.
Right.
Okay, now I know that this compensation grade is on a related business object, which is job profile. I cannot add a filter. That's the second rule. You cannot do anything in that.
Yes.
So how can I
Yes.
do it? I can bring those compensation grade onto a field which is on primary business object, and I can add the that field on my report, and I can add a filter. Or even if I don't add it on the report, I still can add a filter, right?
Yes.
Right.
Correct. But how will that guarantee that my compensation grid is still not blank?
That true and false that we have to.
Yeah, true and false. What I have done, I have extracted the compensation grid which is not blank, and there you have multiple compensation grid. True, but you also have to understand that now there is one more field which is required in your report, which is job profile. So what I'm trying to explain you here is job profiles and compensation grade are tightly bounded together. Okay, so there is a relationship between both of them.
Yes.
So if
Yes.
there is a job profile, there must be a compensation grade.
Right.
Yes.
Correct?
Correct.
Okay. Now, when I have a relationship between a job profile and compensation grade, then if I am able to bring the job profile on my report, and if I add a filter on that itself, the compensation grade which is on my report, will that still be blank? That is my question.
Okay, so you are saying if we add job profile field from worker business object, and then we use that job profile on filter, then what we are trying to do?
No, that is the question. Then do you think that the compensation grade will be blank?
But what are we trying to do?
What are we trying to do? Again, I'm explaining you the condition once again. Okay, think, and you have to think logically, because this is all logical, because you have to build the relationship. Okay, now understand the relationship once again. When I have a compensation grade, I have created it. That means it will be used in some or the other job profile, right? Because without that, why will I create a compensation grade?
Yes,
Correct.
clear.
Right.
Yes.
Yep.
Second thing, if a job profile is created, that means a compensation grade will also be there, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Now, I've extracted my non-empty compensation grade, which means there is some value,
Yes.
right?
Right.
Now, based on that, can I extract the job profile? Because I have compensation grade, can I not extract the job profile from that?
Yes. Because
Yes.
they have relation.
That
That's
is
what
what
we are
I am
saying, right?
asking you, right? So based on that, can we not extract the job profile?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, that is what we are going to see next. So I'm not going to extract the compensation grade because I already have that in my true false part. Okay, I'm not going to extract my compensation grade. Now what I'll do, actually I'll go ahead and extract the job profile. Okay, so let's see how it works. Field name, let's say I'm creating CB1 underscore calculated fields underscore. Here I'm going to extract the single instance. So ESI will come. And now this field, I have to put on that business object where I can add a filter. So which is that business object where I can add a filter?
Worker.
Okay. And what is the function I'm going to use?
Yes, I.
Extract single
Extract single instance. And I'll go ahead and click on OK. Now it says source field. The source field is that field which I have to display basically, on the report. So what I have to display?
Compensation grade.
Compensation grade. Com grade.
That is already present in my report. That's
But
already in my report. What is the field which we do not have on the report?
Job profile.
Job profile. And that's what I said a few minutes back, that I'm going to extract job profiles from this condition. Okay. So I'm going to display job profile. So once I put the job profile, I have to put the right field, otherwise, it will not work. Okay. And then you see the related business object automatically comes up. Now, on what condition I have to extract the job profile? This is where your logic will come now.
The true and false condition.
Anybody has
The
any
one which
doubt
we
on that?
created.
Yeah, the one which we created.
Yeah.
So that is a true false. Okay, so you have understood it, right? What I'm trying to say now. Condition says that I have got the true false value. Now, example, I have an employee, as I stated, right, that is there in the organization for a very long time. I'm sorry. Okay, so you can just ignore it. Let's see this one. There's an employee called Manish, okay? And that person is there in the organization for last 4 years. So there must be a change in the compensation grade. See, compensation grade 1, 2, 3, correct?
Yes.
I want the latest one. I don't want the, if I would have used a lookup, I would have got all the values basically. But I don't want all the values. I want one, which is the latest one. Okay. So for that, there is an option here which says instance to be returned.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
And I will choose the last occurrence because last will be the latest one, not the first one. Okay. Are you getting the point?
Yes.
Yep. Yes.
So this is my last occurrence which I'll be using. And I am not going to use this. I'm sorry, I told you wrong. I'm going to use this so that I am getting the latest compensation grade which is active on that person. Clear? And
Yes.
now I'm going to sort this value as per comp grade.
Comp grades.
Oh, spelling mistake. So I'll use it ascending because I have not put any other sorting. So this will help me. Okay. And I'll go ahead and click on OK now. Okay. Now my calculated field is created. So we'll go into the report and let's see. I'll click on add a row basically. And now I have my calculated field which is created on worker. Now what is that calculated field? This is the one, right? But where exactly it is created? This is on job profile.
Yes.
Yeah. But I have another calculated field which is created on worker. And what is that? This is the one.
ESI field.
Right. So I'll search it. CB1 underscore CF. Let's hit enter. So I should get the value. See, I've got ESI, right?
Yeah.
So now if I have that value on worker, all the things I want to do with the field of a primary business object, I can do because it is now on my primary business object. What is my primary business object? Worker. Okay. Then let's go ahead and click on OK. Let's see how it works. Let's see if there is any change. There is no change, guys. My comp grade is also blank. My ESI field is also blank. Why is that?
Because we need to put a filter.
Correct. Because we need to add a filter, then only it should work. Okay, let's see. Okay, let's put a filter. I'll put both the filters so that, we get only data which is useful. Otherwise, it will be a useless report for us. I don't want any employee whose gender is not there, which means it's a bogus data. And this is a practice tenant, so you will have unwanted data in that. And then what I'll do is I will go ahead and use my calculated field. And I'll say, I don't want any empty job profiles. And I'll go ahead and click on OK. And let's see what happens now. Guys, what do you see?
You still see blanks.
Now you see, I've got the first name, last name, gender, compensation grade. You can ignore this. I just put it just to, show you something, but that is not relevant in our requirement. So my compensation grade is also coming and my job profile is also coming. It says senior business analyst and SR business analyst grade. Okay, let's make it little, a readable format so that, we are able to get what exactly this report is going to give us. Right, I'll remove this gender or dependence. It's of no use for us at the moment.
And the dependents will have more number of gender.
Yeah, I mean, if an employee has multiple dependents, right? You can have your wife and your children. Some company allows your parents as well to be dependents, right? So you will have multiple dependents on one person. That is possible. Yes. Are you getting the point?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So I'm just removing it for the moment because that is not our requirement. Okay. And I'll also rename this field because, CBC or PSI does not look good. So I can say job profile. Let's put it at the last. All right. And let's click on OK. And now click on run. See, I only have 46 employees whose compensation grade is there and also job profile is there. And actually they are having a proper gender also, right?
Yes.
These values don't go by the value. Value could be anything. They have just put it, a random absurd value. So, but that is not blank. That is my condition. So I am able to achieve this requirement that I want to display first name, last name, gender, compensation grade, and job profile. Right? This was my requirement which I had from the client. Yes, no?
Yes.
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 Display the first name, last name, gender, comp grade, job profile, where job profile's compensation grade is not empty. I mean, it was easy if I could have used SQL. It would have been very easy. But Workday does not have any query language, right? So for that purpose only, they gave us this option to basically use the calculated fields. Now, calculated fields are very important concept, guys. We can never ever forget this. Okay. So you saw how we went ahead and extracted the values. Because if you are clear on this concept, how to get the value that I want, right? You will never face any challenges. And someone said that I can actually go ahead and use a lookup related value and bring all the values of compensation grade onto my primary business object. That is not wrong. But will you get the exact compensation grade which is there? Yes, no?
Not the exact one. You get all
Not the exact one, right? Because it will give you all the values. I hope you're getting what I'm trying to say here.
Yes.
Okay. So when we have discussed about lookup related value, let's talk on that. Let's use it and try to understand how we can use a lookup related value. Now, understand that on lookup related value, let's try to create one lookup and then see how we can use it. Okay, create another calculation. So CB1 underscore calculated field underscore LRV. Okay. And let's create it on Workday. It will be easy. Function lookup related value. Okay. And I'll go ahead and click on OK. So what is this word lookup signify? What does it tell you? What does it mean?
To check.
Looking up is basically searching, right? You're searching for something. Correct?
Yes.
So whenever you have this lookup, you have to understand that I am trying to search something and there should be a condition on which I have to search. Okay. So let's say I am searching I'm searching a value on certain condition. Okay. So that lookup has to be given. That condition has to be given. So let's say I can use this condition, job profile. So let's say I am going ahead and using that condition. When job profile is just the display name, but actual name is this, correct?
Yes.
And let's say I want to return all active job profiles, right? That is possible. All active job profiles. Let's see if that value is there or not. You see, all active job profiles. So in this tenant, whatever job profiles are there, I can actually get it through this lookup. I'm able to search those values, correct? So let's say I have created it. Now I have to display it in the report. I will go ahead and edit my report. And let's say I will add field CP1. Let's see. So I've got LRV, right? I will use LRV and I'll go ahead and click on OK. This might take time because, there could be hundreds of active job profiles. I mean, I hope so because, people would be creating it. Right. So now you see, what is LRV doing here? Look up, what did it do? Based on this job profile, right? I have searched all active job profiles. So if you see, there are 593 plus 94, 95, 96, 97, 98. So 59 active job profiles are there in this particular business object. So it is displaying everything. Are you getting my point, guys?
Yes.
Did you understand the use of lookup?
Yes. So my question is, here we knew that we have a single extracted field, but how to identify which lookup field we should use? There can be multiple fields, right?
You can use any condition. I mean, you can change it. So for example, I don't want to use my, let's search that first. Okay, I got this field. And this is a calculated field. Now you are saying that I don't want to use this condition. I want to use any other condition. You can use any condition. There is no problem in that. It's basically, you have to understand, why are we using this? What is my, meaning of lookup? I just explained you why, because you said that I can go ahead and use a lookup and basically bring the values of compensation grade on worker, right? That is what you initially told me when I was using this, that I can bring this compensation grade on worker using LRV, and I can actually put a filter there. But if you will bring the compensation grade through LRV, there will be not one compensation grade, right? There could be multiple compensation grades.
Right.
So that will not fulfill my requirement. My requirement states that I just need only one, the latest value. I don't need anything else.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes, I'm asking, how do you know that this is the field? This is the lookup field. There can be multiple fields, right, on the job profile that is related to worker.
Okay. So if you want to know what type of field is that, you will have to get into the business object, because the property of any field is mentioned there only, right? You will not be able to know by seeing it. There is no way that you see a field and you will know that this is a lookup. There is no option available in Workday as such.
Okay.
Okay. So now you see, basically I used ESI, and based on this condition, I was able to look the active job profiles. Now, if I have to search for anything, there are multiple fields there. So if I just go ahead and look into all, whatever conditions.
I'm not asking for return value. I know that these fields are available in job profile. I'm asking for lookup field. How do you know that this is the field that is connecting these two business objects?
There is no as such any relationship. You have to understand through business object, right? So what did I say? That when you go into the business object, right? Let me show it to you.
So instead of ESI, if instead of the field that we have created, if I use candidate, will it be using the same with the job profile business object?
No, that will not use the job profile. Why will it use job profile?
Yeah.
If you want to use any other field, no, any field that you are using, it could be candidate, right? It's not there. Let's search if I have anything. See, I have candidate now. Based on that, you see your business objects changes, right?
Yes.
Right. So how will you know that what field I have to use? You have to get into the business object. So you have to type in BO, and you want to see the field of job profiles, what are there. Basically, what you are trying to search, based on that, you have to use the business object. Are you getting the point?
Yes.
I just showed you the use of lookup. That how is lookup used in your daily life, that I want to search something, I can go ahead and use a lookup related value. But if you have to understand that I need a relationship, that relationship can be seen from here only. There is no other way, because in Workday, the relationships are not exposed. The relationships are hidden. And if I have to find it, I'll have to go into the business object, get into the links, then only I'll be able to understand, okay, this is a relationship. This relationship is between a job profile and worker. So let's say I'll just show it to you. So if I just search for worker, okay, we have worker compensation code, that is the actual business object, and you have 3 fields which is related to it, right? So these are the fields of job profile which is being used by this. Now, when you go into this section and then you look for worker, you see, because worker here is my related business object, right? And you see the number of fields that it has.
Yes. So this is what I'm asking. There are 33 fields. How do I know which one I should use? I can use anyone.
Anyone. I mean, it all depends upon the usability, that what exactly are you trying to extract. I used all job profiles, right?
Yes.
So it gave me all the job profiles. Now, these are all different type of fields. If you need to know what this field is, you have to get into that field.
Okay.
Right? Then only it will tell you that why exactly this field has been created. And if this has been created, what is the basic use of it? So whenever you have to build reports, this relationship has to be found, because without this relationship, you may not get the exact field what I have to use in my report. So knowing the related business object is very important in Workday, because you cannot query anything. You cannot actually get into a document and you will see that, okay, there is a relationship and this is linked with this particular table. I can actually get it because there is no schema document available.
Okay.
Okay. So this is the only way.
So we can call it primary key or something like that.
You can call it. There is no harm in calling that. Okay.
Okay.
But if you talk about Workday terminology, there is no concept of primary key or foreign key. Workday has not given any kind of definition of it. But yes, it follows the standard database practices. For anybody who is not from Workday background, you can call it. There is no harm in calling that.
Okay.
Because you can relate it and you can remember it easily. You can call it.
Okay.
But if you say that if the Workday has given any primary key or relationship, no. Workday has only given a related business object where you can go into it and see it. But who does not know the concept of, see, there are people who are from functional background. Those who are not from technical background, right? Let's say someone was working as a HR and they moved into Workday because they know Workday, how they have used it. But if you ask them that, okay, can you tell me what is the primary key which is connecting this particular two business objects? They will not know. They will not know the concept of primary key. So Workday has made it simple that you call it as a related business object. It becomes very easy to tell that, okay, these are two business objects and these are the fields by which you are able to connect these two tables, or you can say business object.
Okay.
So it becomes very easy for a non-IT person also to get into Workday very easily. That's another reason why this tool is expanding in the market like crazy at the moment. So people, those who are from HR background, they're easily jumping onto Workday because it's more on 90% configuration. There's no coding here. I hope you get it right.
Yes, correct. Thank you.
Okay. So yeah.
Ashish, Priyanka here. So I wanted to understand this. Like we started with this actually. We had a concept like when we create or when we, join when we see that two business objects needs to be connected to have the third field in place. I'll take an example. When I have to link A equals to B equals to C, in SQL, basically what we do, or in any other tool, what we do, we create a unique key and we can join the tables A, B, C.
Correct.
But in Workday, what I understand, what we have to do, when we have to connect A equals to B equals to C, we have to find the key which will connect A to B. Then we have to find a key which will connect B to C. Is that logic correct?
That is correct.
Got it.
Okay. And another thing, what we did here, if you know SQL, you would see what you do in your outer joins, right? So if you talk about outer join, what does that do? If I run this report, I have now used joins. If you're talking about SQL terminology, let's understand this, that this is using joins.
Yes.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
I am actually not able to bring the values because that there is no relationship. What did I do? Basically, I used the concept of an outer join, brought the value here and displayed the value as per my requirement.
Correct.
Correct. Yep. So this is exactly following the database concept. But if you talk in Workday terminology, it is not exposed in such a way that you can explain it. The other person who may not be from a SQL background may not understand it. Are you getting the point? So when you are specific to a tool, let's say Workday, you have to be very specific about that terms which is basically used in Workday. The other person who is trained on Workday may not be trained on SQL. They will not understand what you're saying. Okay, does that make sense?
Yes.
Everybody, guys, I just want to make sure that no one in this team has any confusion because this is very, very important topic that what we have seen today. Okay, so looks like I don't have any questions. So you are good with it. Okay, that's cool. Let's discard it because I don't want to change anything right now. Then let's see some, interesting things that, what we can actually do. We have seen three types of field as of now. So we have seen a conditional field, how we can use a true false, right? Then we have seen a field which extracts the value. Now, extraction can be two ways. It could be single, it could be multi instance, right? So what do you mean by single and multi? Can anybody help me? What type of fields are single instance field and what type of fields are multi-instance field?
The one that we saw, the compensation grade, that was multi-instance.
No, that was, okay, sorry, yes. That was multi-instance field. I'm so sorry, I got confused. Yeah.
And then we extracted the single instance from that.
Okay, so let's say in an address, when you have to put the address, you get the list of countries there, right? What kind of field is that?
Multi-instance.
Multi-instance. Why? Because from there I'm choosing one value, but it has multiple values in that. Correct? So it is not a checklist. Basically, there is a radio button that you have to choose. Okay? So that you can consider that as an example. Second,
so radio buttons can be called single instance?
No, it is multi-instance, right? Because you are getting multiple values.
Okay, but selecting one. Okay.
Okay. Multi-instance fields are of two types. Multi-instance where you can select only one value, and multi-instance field where you can select multiple values, like where you have checkboxes. That is also a multi-instance field.
Yeah.
Okay. Another example which can clarify that. Let's say I am trying to build up my job profile on a job portal. You build your job profiles, right? Like on Naukri or Monster or any other, places. So it will ask you that, okay, you're looking for job in which cities, correct? They will ask you, you can choose multiple cities, but there is a limit. You can choose either 3 or 4. I don't know. It's been long that I have done that. Yeah. So when you choose that, again, there is a list there, right? You have a list of values, but you are able to choose only 1, 2, 3. You cannot go and choose 4 values. Correct. But that list itself is a multi-instance field. That's the reason they're giving you multi-instance values. And there you're choosing multi-instance values as well. But if it is an address and where you're putting the country, then you are choosing only one value out of that multi-instance field, right? So this is all also we have to keep in mind when you actually build the report. Okay. I hope it's clear to everybody.
Yes, but how do we use multi-instance fields? I have used multi-instance after extracting single instance. I have not used any multi-instance field.
We can use that. It's very, it's the same thing. To be very honest, I can go ahead and get multi-instance value. There's no problem.
We can just add it, right? We don't need to do anything. We can just add a field like we added first name, last name. Like how this is how we can use it, right?
I mean, you can use anyways. Multi-instance means basically except one value, you can extract multiple values. See, you use this lookup field, right? Lookup LRV. What did it do? What did it do basically? It brought in the multiple values.
Yes.
Right. So that's a kind of multiple instance field. You're displaying it. But let's say on the compensation grade itself, I do not want a specific value. And then I would not have used this one, single instance. I could have used multi-instance field there. Right? Are you getting?
Dependence is like a multi-instance.
Yeah, dependents are like multi-instance.
Yes.
Yes, what you said is absolutely correct. Okay, do you know what is a concatenation?
Yes,
connecting.
Sorry.
Sorry to interrupt. Ashish, I have one question. Since we have worked on single instance extract, and we are talking about multi-instances, we usually have requirements when there are multiple instances on the field, but we have to extract the middle instances. That is one requirement. And second is whenever we use single instance extract, I wanted to understand how do we use those special occurrences?
You have that value, right? That which instance you want to return. Do you remember that? Okay, let me show it to you. Calculated fields. edit. Where is that? Yeah.
But it can be different for different employees, right? For example, we saw that Manish has 3 compensation grades. But
Correct.
what if I had 4 and I had 5 and I want to see the third one? So will it give third of every person, or how do we use it?
Actually, those who have the third value, only those values will be displayed. Rest everything will be blank.
Blank. Okay.
Right. So that is the reason you need to know what is the instance that you are extracting. Okay. So let's see that. Okay. Where is that now? I just forgot the name. CB1.
If we can see this example on job requisition business object, I think that has
any business object you want to do, there is no problem.
We have multiple steps for a candidate stage. So if we are on screening, then there are multiple steps. So we don't know how
I am not sure if I have access to those business objects, but we can try. There's no problem. So let's say BO, business object screen, right?
Business object job requisition.
Job requisition, okay. Because that is a part of the recruitment module, but I don't know it's given to me or not. Job requisition, right? That's what you said?
Yes.
I think I have. Let's see. Okay, so what field you are saying here?
Candidate stage.
Stage, okay.
Yes.
Age?
Stage.
I think stage. Okay. I think age is basically calculated.
Stage.
Yeah. Sorry, I have a bad habit of making a spelling mistake. You're talking about offer stage.
Last
candidate.
Recruiting stage.
Okay. Let's see what this field is. Okay, you got multi-instance first of all.
Yes.
And there is a recruiting stage, Workday owned. That is also a business object, guys. You see this? This is also important to understand. Then it says recruiting stage with active candidates. Okay, let's look into this. Let's see what exactly does this value bring. Okay, guys. Just hold on a minute. Okay, it says recruiting stage with active candidates. That's the field name. That's on job requisition description. All stage for job requisition with active candidates. Of course, it's a Workday delivered field, it's a standard field. Category is recruiting, authorize your default areas. Now, what exactly is your question around it? That is, what I'm trying to understand.
So, recruiting stages will have
multiple values.
Yes, values like screen, interview, ready to hire, background check.
Correct. Okay, so
and
let's try to bring that value in our report. Let's see how exactly it looks like.
Can you search for step field also on this business object? Yes, business object. Okay. Step.
Sure. Okay, that is compensation now. Require compensation.
Not here. No, that field is not here.
Okay. Yeah, because that's what I said, right? This is not customized. It is actually having those fields which is in the standard part of your recruitment module, right? So this will not give you all the fields.
Okay, then I think we cannot take it as an example, right, Priyanka? We need steps.
Yes. So Ashish, what we are trying is job requisition has various events which go through business processes. Like interview is one event, screening is one event, background check is one event. And in those events, since we have taken example of screen, in screening there are multiple steps. And it tends to happen that we have to bring those steps into the report.
Okay.
And since it's multi-instance, it doesn't come column wise. So that is our requirement.
Oh, column wise. Yeah, column wise it will not come, right? Because it has a value, like how you got the active job profiles, right? What did we do? We got all the values there.
Correct. Yep.
Correct. Now, what you have to do is you have to put the filter on candidate. When you put a filter on candidate, whatever the active candidates are, right? That candidate is equal to active or something, in that way. Then what will happen, that only active candidates will be there, and it will give you that what exactly is the stage where that employee is. And you have to use a single instance there. Basically, you have to extract the single instance value.
Okay. And that is the reason.
Choose the last more updated value. Sorry.
Okay. And that is the reason I was asking what is the difference between the special occurrence? Can we pull the data from the middle of the process?
Yes, you can. There is no problem in that, but you need to know which is that middle. You have to know what that middle is. Is it like 3, 4, or 10, or I mean, if it is 20 things, so what is that middle? You have to know that value. Then you can put that value.
Can we see any candidate profile so that we'll be able to understand better any of the candidate profiles?
I'm not sure if there is a candidate profile, but yeah, we can take a look.
And how that special occurrence will work. So if we are taking last occurrence, then it is taking the latest one.
Yep.
So
see if I have any report for candidate or active candidate. Let's look at
candidate
this
flow
report.
we have.
Yeah, candidate flow we have. Candidate. Okay, you want to use that? Let's use that. Candidate flow. Okay, this is my report. So this is an indexed report, right? You see that starting requisition open date. Let's say I'm putting it for 1st of July, ending 31st of July. And I don't know if there are actually values or not. Okay, let's try to see. Okay, I've got 3 values, Nancy Singh, and these are the things that I have. Okay, yeah, tell me. Now you tell me what you were trying to help me understand here.
I think we still don't have that step field. Can you scroll right?
No, that's what you're trying to say is basically that is, a custom field that would have been put in your system, wherever that is.
So that data is in business process history, and one candidate is in interview, and then he's going through multiple steps. First round of interview, second round of interview, third round of interview, additional round. So there can be multiple rounds.
Correct.
We don't know everybody is going through the same rounds. There will be candidates who is going through only round 1, and then he's getting selected. Then there will be candidates who are going through second round additional, performing all these steps.
Correct.
So there are multiple dates for round 1. That this is the date that the interview got scheduled, and then this was the date that this person came for the interview, and this is the date that the round 1 is moving to round 2. So sometimes there are 3 dates, sometimes there are 2 dates, sometimes there are 4 dates. And business is saying that we want the date of the round 1, and then the completed date, and then the date of the second round. We are not able to. Even we are not able to understand which occurrence we have to take, because there is no proper step name. The field that we are trying to see in the system, there is no proper name.
How will they know? Your client will know that they are in round 1 or round 2. How will they know?
They go to that business history, and that's how they see it, and that's how they show us.
In the business history, do you have a field called step there?
Yes.
Okay.
So what is happening? We see that field as step in the UI, user interface, that we are saying the front end. But in the back end, that field, sometimes that fields, so if I'm getting that field name as step for interview, it is not possible that the same field is used for screen or for background check. So there are multiple fields, and that is also different for multiple. I mean, for one candidate, it is taking step. For one, it is business process type. For business process step. So that is where we are confused. Which field to take? I mean,
that field is not there with me, right? I could have actually understood.
Yeah, that is very complex.
I'm sure it is some kind of custom field which has been created. Okay.
Yeah.
And basically understand, from where that value is coming onto step, that is where you have to put a filter there. See, because you're saying that sometimes it is taking the step of the business process, sometimes it is taking the business process of basically step of any other thing. Like in interview, is it in first round, second round? There should be a particular field which is capturing it. You may have to create some calculated fields which is capturing where exactly is the person right now.
Yes. So can it be related to integration? Can it be an integration related issue where we are seeing on the front end, we are seeing only one field, but in the back end?
It is not related to integration. Are they trying to use any other tool there for scheduling interview or anything else?
That we are not sure.
No,
they're using the same.
They are using Workday only. So Ashish, I'm just trying to clear things in my head. What we are talking in a candidate business process, when we have a screen as an event, and in that screening event we have 4 steps, and the requirement is from those 4 steps I have to take step number 3, which is round 3 in my report. And after that, I wanted to show after this round 3, this candidate moved to the next step. Could be any step. After screening, he moved to interview step. Okay, interview event. And our confusion is, because single instance extract give us the top of the stack data or the last of the stack data. It doesn't give us any middle event.
So there is a business object which is job application update. Have you seen that?
Yes, job application we have.
Yes, we have.
If you see this updated on and updated by worker, basically, it will give you an idea that what exactly has been updated and which is that business object or related business object. You see this job application is the main business object which you have to look into. Okay, so in this, the person will know in which stage they are, whether they are in in review or screening or interview. Correct? You will have that value in this particular field.
Yes.
Here it should have what you're saying.
I think we have step. Yeah, we have step.
Step or stage, whatever it is. Let's check it. I as I stated, right? Business process step.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. Sometimes it is business process step. Sometimes it is steps.
Yeah. So that's where you have to understand that, okay, which could be that field which you are able to see. And that is what you have to identify. I understood your requirement, right? And I understood that this could be in the job application business object, right? And from there only I could see that, okay, this is a job application step. Now within the job application step, what exactly is this? Okay, let's try to understand that first. See, it's a text field. Okay, but other job application things, let's see what are the other options we have. No, don't have anything else. Let me add step.
Business process
steps. Business process steps, and then there are steps, the last one.
Steps. Right. Right. So we can add filter and then try to see what is this. Both are text. Now, which means it is getting updated, right? The business process for which the stage and the step within that business process for this active or disposition job application. Now, this is not the right business object, guys. You may have to find the right business object. So that's what I'm trying to understand. which could be that right business object which will give you that value. So maybe it could be a candidate which is going through those stages, right? So you have to get the right field. And if you have got the right field, based on that, you can use any calculated field. Calculated field concept is same. It will not change. But what you're trying to help get the value is, how will I get the middle value? For that, you have to get what are the values that are there in that particular, in the particular field. Then only you will be able to get the middle value. Or you can have to, you will have to find out what is the latest update. The latest update you have seen that I can use the single instance and get the last value. The last value will be the latest one.
Yep.
Right. So at least you will know that any particular candidate is in which stage right now. Are you getting the point now?
Yes, actually, that that itself is very challenging and complex for us, because some steps we are taking from the event, which is the business object, and some steps we have to take it from the business process, where business process itself is an object.
Yeah, business process itself is an object. That is true.
It's an object. But, so to combine those both and bring those in the report while taking the middle values becomes the challenge for us. And at that moment, we try to find out that what calculated field we should use and how we should extract the multi-instances.
Yeah, that is fine. You can extract the multi-instances field, but for that, you have to find out which is that related business object first of all. This is your key. If you know the exact business object, then you can use SI, lookup, whatever you want to do. There is no problem in that. Or you want to extract multi-instance, there is no problem in that. You know the calculated fields, but where you have to apply, you have to find that in the related business object. Because that is going to be a condition.
Okay. Yeah, that field is not available here, so I think we cannot check it. So can we take the same example, the job profile one that we were taking, if you want to see the third occurrence?
You can. There is no problem.
So we want to see if it is taking it in descending order, the first, the top three from the descending or from the ascending.
I mean, see, this is a practice and I don't know if it will have more data or not. Okay. But yeah, we can try. There is no problem in that. Okay. So what was that? CB1 underscore CF underscore ESI. Let's try to search it. We should get it. Okay. Let's edit. If you could have used your tenant, I mean, do you have the access right now? You want to?
Yes, we have.
Yes, we do.
Okay. We can go into specific occurrence. Maybe I'll say I want third. And I'll go ahead and click on OK. But I'll have to remove that, guys, you know, the report where I have filters and everything, right? Then only I'll get the right value. Okay, what was the report? So it was CB1 underscore advanced, right? See, I'm not getting any value because there is no third occurrence for anything.
Okay.
Yep. Got it.
Okay.
Yes.
So this is because everything is dependent upon now this particular, sorry, where is my job profile? So everything is dependent upon this. Now, if I don't have a third occurrence, I'm not going to get anything, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Right. So these things play a very, very important role. All right. I hope you got the understanding now. Okay.
Yeah. And if we have a multi-instance and there are three values. So if we are able to select 3 cities, Pune, Mumbai, Nashik, if we are selecting these 3 cities, and I want to remove Pune from it, and I want to see only 2 cities.
Okay.
How do we do that? Will it be substring function we'll be using?
You can use substring. You can use substring. There is no problem in that. Substring is used for that kind of work only.
Okay.
Okay. So guys, these are all, if you see substring, so it will extract a portion, but again, it will extract a portion of a text. So if you're trying to extract the value, let's say I am, my name is Debashish Sharma. Okay. And in that I have, I want to extract only the first 3 letters of my name. Then in that case, I'm going to use substring. But what you're saying is you have 3 values. I am going to use 1 value out of that. Correct? There you can't use substring because substring is used on text. So you are saying that these are separate values, correct?
Yes. So as it is separated by comma, space.
Okay, comma, space, then you can use substring. There is no problem in that. Okay. Yeah, then you can use. Okay. Then you have different type of functions like text length, right? I mean, these are very small calculated fields that you may have heard before also. Do you know what is a text length?
Yes, length of the text.
Yeah, length of the text. Then you would have heard about concatenation, right?
Yes.
Yes.
So what is that concatenation?
Joining two strings or numbers.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then in the arithmetical calculations, you may have heard about bill date. What is a bill date?
Yes. Building a date in a format that you want.
Basically, you build a function which is going to give you a date. Maybe it's a user's time zone, or you want to have a specific way of writing that. That is what is going to give you the date and time. Concatenation you have understood. Then converting currency. But for that, you have to maintain the currency rate types. So if you don't have the currency conversion rate, then you cannot do that. So that will be something where your finance team will, come into picture to convert that. Otherwise, we cannot do anything in that. And converting text to a number, like you said, I want to concatenate to number. For that, you have to convert that number to text, and then you can concatenate.
Yes.
Okay. I mean, to be honest, we don't have as such any very important calculated field now, because the main conceptual part you have already understood. I'll just share this document with you. Okay. The document contains all the calculated fields, whether it is lookup related value or lookup translated value or lookup value of a date, because the main concept is how exactly am I going to use it. Now you have understood how to use a conditional field, calculated field. Then you have understood how to go ahead and basically look up a related value, because basically you need to how to search it. And the third thing is basically how you go ahead and extract it. Whether you want to extract multi or a single, it does not matter. The concept remains same. It will not change anything. Then you also know how to use substring. Basically, I have to cut the first 3 values of a particular text, and I have to bring that in front of me. Like, you have some code. I want to bring the code. I can do that using substring, because code is generally a text. Okay.